The World of Edena is a science fiction graphic novel series created by French artist and writer Mobius. It was originally published in 4 volumes. The series followed the adventures of Estelle and Atom, 2 space explorers who crash land on a planet and discover a mystical world of lush forests, ancient ruins, and strange creatures. As they explore this world, they encounter a variety of characters. The story explores themes of spirituality, ecology, and human consciousness, and features Mobius' signature blend of surreal imagery and intricate storytelling. Mobius developed the concept for this graphic novel over several years, drawing on his unique artistic style and storytelling abilities to create a rich and immersive science fiction world. The World of Edena, also known as Mobius' Edina cycle, was born in 1983. Citroën had commissioned the French artist a short story for internal use of the company. The result of that commission inspired Mobius to continue with that story and expand it, as well as apply more elements and personal style. In 1985, he became a practitioner of instinctotherapy, a nutritional discipline that consists exclusively of food in its natural form, which has not been subjected to cooking, preserving, or seasoning. This led him to find a parallel between this practice and the idea of an original paradise, one of the themes he would later develop in his Edina cycle. It was in that same year, while on a month-long break during the production of the animated film Little Nemo in Slumberland, that he began the first chapters of the Edina story. In these first chapters that he draws, Mobius introduces the idea, inspired by modern medicine, that the human body is a defective machine and that we can and must replace all its parts. In fact, its 2 main characters are convinced that the secret to good health consists in constant organ transplantation. Their vision of humanity is completely disconnected from its roots. Mobius realized that surprisingly and subconsciously, the little story he created for the Citroën company was a great drama of 2 good-hearted protagonists rediscovering humanity's true state of being. In this story, Mobius explores how a human being can return from a completely synthetic state to a completely natural one, and all that this implies, including mental blocks, fears, and resistances. All these ideas are inspired by his own personal experiences and concerns. According to the artist, the storytelling of this story is clearer than in some of his previous works. The process of creating the World of Edena brought him some answers to some personal questions. In fact, in this story, Mobius did something he had not done in previous graphic novels: add a sentimental aspect. We see the characters actively loving each other, something that certainly differentiates this story from others of the author, since the treatment he gave to the emotional part in his stories was from a sarcastic perspective. In the World of Edena, the characters discover feelings, and these become the main motivation of the story. Mobius was known for his detailed and imaginative artwork, which often featured surreal and otherworldly landscapes, designs, and a sense of fluidity in his illustrations. For the World of Edena, he drew upon his love for science fiction, spirituality, and the natural world to create a compelling and visually stunning story. The World of Edena tells the story of 2 intergalactic repairmen, Estelle, pilot and mechanic, and Atom, navigator, who try to find a lost spaceship. They land on a desert planet and drive across it in an old Citroën car. They arrive at a refugee camp, gather around a mysterious pyramid of light. In the camp, they meet people from all over the galaxy who, like the 2 protagonists, were attracted to the place. Some have reached hundreds of thousands of years. In all this time, no one has managed to approach the pyramid, repelled by a force field that surrounds it. They soon discover that the planet is not what it seems, as they encounter bizarre and surreal phenomena. They explore the lush forests of Edina and encounter a hidden paradise known as the Garden. Here, they encounter a group of beings who offer them insight into the planet's mysteries and the nature of existence. Estelle and Atom also encounter a powerful godlike entity known as the Goddess, who holds the secrets of Edina's past and future. They uncover ancient ruins and discover that the planet has a rich and complex history tied to its sentient ecosystem. Then the story focuses on Estelle as he embarks on a journey to understand the truth about Edina and his place within it. He encounters an enigmatic creature who becomes his mentor and faces challenges that test his understanding of reality and self. The protagonists slowly evolve by abandoning their artificial lifestyle to explore their true nature and finally immerse themselves in their own subconscious in a kind of epic battle between good and evil. The series was originally published in 5 parts upon a star 1983.
By forcing myself to draw upon a star in a style as pure and simple as possible, I could no longer find refuge in an excess of details. I was obliged to work very hard on my lines and make each one count, because every true representation of anatomy matter and shape could only be expressed through simple lines.
Gardens of Edina 1988.
In The Gardens of Edina, I tried to show the dangers of the conditioning created by an artificial food supply when confronted with the problem of survival in a natural milieu. I pictured all the fears and obstacles that prevent that rediscovery of our natural functions. I also wanted to show the mutations that begin to appear when you switch from artificial food to natural food.
The Goddess 1990.
To me, the long-nosed inhabitants of the nest symbolize people cut off from their environment, both physically and spiritually. The deliberate formality with which they speak and their masks are like impenetrable shells behind which they hide. It is like certain types of neuroses that we develop during childhood, where false layers of personality are created to cover all systems of communication with the outside world.
Estelle 1994.
I purposefully left several points obscure in my story. First, I think that gives the reader a freedom of interpretation, which increases his involvement because he is forced to ask himself questions and provide his own answers. Also, these obscure areas are like reservoirs of imagination that my unconscious mind creates now for me to explore later. When I try to find my own interpretations, I feel a little like a witch doctor reading the future in the entrails of an animal.
Giraud 2001.
In 1985, when Mobius was creating his Upon a Star chapter, he asserted, "There are some things I drew in this story whose importance I will discover in the months and years to come." That's how Stell's dream will be cleared up in the Nest book. The project will change according to my own evolution. I established some plot developments that exceed my current skills, and that's very interesting to me, because if I want to get to the bottom of this story, I will have to go over my own head.
The World of Edena delves into philosophical, spiritual, and ecological themes. Mobius explores ideas about the nature of existence, consciousness, and the interconnectedness of all living things. Mobius' unique artistic style, characterized by his detailed and imaginative illustrations, masterful use of color, and fluid compositions, adds depth and richness to the story. His storytelling is layered and open to interpretations, leaving readers pondering the deeper meaning and symbolism embedded within the narrative. The World of Edena is considered one of Mobius' most ambitious and personal works, showcasing his creative genius and storytelling prowess. With its thought-provoking themes, visually stunning artwork, and great narrative, makes it a landmark in the world of comic books and graphic novels. Overall, the World of Edena is a captivating and philosophical journey that challenges readers to question the nature of reality, spirituality, and our place within the universe, and it remains a timeless work of art that continues to inspire all of us around the world.